Good morning, everyone, and for all the day tours, welcome. It is very exciting to have such an amazing group of people here. The OSFF, I always say OSSF, and then I have to say OSFF, is a continually surprising and impressive conference, and the number of people who come together and talk is really amazing. So Gab, if you were here today, told you a little bit about our 2024 State of Open Source in Finance report. We've made a ton of progress, and we are progressing in the journey from what I would call believers with passion who believe in open source and love financial services and believe that the two can come together. But it was a little bit of a passion and a dream and a hope into a reality of firms starting to really deeply integrate open source into financial services technology and how we do business every day. And FINOS is a huge part of that because it brings the umbrella where we can share code and collaborate, and it brings the support of organizations that traditionally were more competitive than they were collaborative with each other. So people are on different steps in the journey. We have some firms that are all the way through. We have some firms that are just beginning, and where the security people are still uncomfortable with open source. So part of the goal here is to build a community and to help everyone bring everyone else along. So I'm seeing a lot of people who are on their phones right now. And Gab is going to laugh because I've done this at the last two conferences, but I think it's really important. If everyone could take 30 seconds, meet one person who's sitting near you, just say hello, and then we'll move on to the rest of the content. Cutting it off? Has it been 30 seconds? Okay, we're cutting it off. They do, even technologists. Who knew technologists actually like to talk to other technologists? All right, we're going to keep going. You'll have the rest of the day to meet each other. All right, I'm just going to start talking, and hopefully that'll quiet the room down a little bit. Thank you. So really glad to see the energy come up and see everybody getting off their phones for a minute. The community is really what we're trying to do here in these 2 days, and the connections that you make is the most powerful thing that you can have. So I encourage you for the rest of the day, like Jane said, meet people, introduce yourself, get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Yes, we are technologists and geeks, but we are amongst friends. So everyone around you is in the same boat. Okay, so how do we keep going down this path of open source for financial services? How do we keep making progress? How do we move forward? So one of the big things here is we need to make FINOS a household name in the industry. And there are pockets of the industry where that is already the case, but there are many pockets where that is not the case. So we have a few asks for you today when you leave this conference and go back to your firms. Please talk about what you have learned and what you have heard about and what the dreams and goals of open source and financial services are. If you can see here on this slide that we have had an explosion in the last year of participants in the industry joining far beyond what was the sell side that founded FINOS. So we have exchanges, we have market data providers, we have consulting partners, we have industry associations who more and more are interested to talk to FINOS. And it's super important when you're part of those associations, which I'm sure a lot of you are. There's no competition. No one's trying to beat each other out at industry stuff. FINOS can host the code and has a legal umbrella to make it easy for people to do that, and gives people a way to do that that standardizes across the industry. So if anybody needs, any of the industry associations need code hosted, it is welcome. And we absolutely welcome collaboration in all forms. So do not hesitate. And if anyone thinks that it's a competition, please correct them actively. So the next question is, how do you go back and explain to people what FINOS is and what it does? So I think about it in 3 basic buckets. We've got SIGs, which is basically places where business people and tech folks, and definitely people across the industry and from different firms, are talking about common problems and thinking about how to apply technology to solve those problems. We've got standards, and that is very, very classic. Define a common standard, build once, use many times. And that concept can apply to all kinds of different things, including interop, which of course I'll plug in a little bit. And open source software, obviously the actual code, right? And that is very unique to be able to share code to the open source concept. So when people ask me why I spend time at FINOS and why we joined in the first place, to me the answer is simple. It is an imperative in financial services for us to find ways to bring down the cost of technology so that we can innovate more and so that we can make a difference for literally everyone, the world that uses financial services, and it's the backbone of the economy. And if you think about all of the things we have in common that we do across our firms over and over and over in a redundant manner, there is just an incredible opportunity to really make a difference in our industry. Okay, so I always have to plug FDC3 because Dietmar and I are the sponsors, and so I can't miss an opportunity on stage to talk about FDC3. We announced yesterday, for those who weren't here, that both Aladdin and Morgan Stanley are certified and conformant. Certification is a great way to tell the world that you are willing to use the standard and you know how to use the standard. So please consider getting your systems and your platforms certified. It's a really important communication tool, and it has really participated in an important way in the momentum of FDC3. We also have a bunch of adoption going on, and again, we encourage everyone to actually take one step to being certified. So we are now going to move to some thanks. So please join me in thanking the inaugural ambassador class. We've got Olivier, Luca, Brett, Brittany, Eddie, Mike, Sam, Paula, Peter, and Cody. A round of applause. Thank you. These guys make a huge difference. Open source at the end of the day is about all the people who contribute, not just about corporate sponsorships. These individuals are passionate. They spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, and they're making a huge difference. And we would like to congratulate the new members of the TOC. So the TOC is the technical counterpart to the governing board that I have the honor of chairing. And we have 5 new members: Eddie, Matthew, Paula, Chris, and Vincent. And elections are open for 5 new seats. So please make sure to apply if you're interested and you want to contribute to the FINOS community. So thank you, and please join me in a round of applause for our TOC members. The future is in our hands. That sounds very grandiose, and the picture is a little weird, to be honest. But FINOS has been around for 6 years now. I've been involved for just a handful, and I want to personally thank a lot of the original founders who started FINOS when it was from Symphony Foundation over to FINOS, and the board members. We have all these board members, Emeritus Kim Prado and Dove and Ridian Olds, who are super, super active, and they have taken it from just through this amazing journey, and they keep at it, and they keep being involved. So it's a great model, and I really encourage everyone to, when you change jobs, when you change roles, change firms, doesn't matter. Keep it as a constant anchor in your lives, in your careers. But it's been an amazing journey, and it's time to take stock, right? So we need to take a pause and think about what happens in the next 5 years for FINOS. So we are going to have an offsite at the end of the month in London, the board and a few others who are going to be helping. So the ask right here is please either stop by the FINOS booth or grab one of the board members and share your thoughts. We want to hear your input. The landscape is completely different, right? It started with some sell side only. We now have representation across the industry. And we need to really think about how the best way to structure the environment is so that people can get the most out of it possible. So please share your thoughts. A lot of you join individual SIGs. You hear things about how many meetings, the discussions, how many people, how should we go about, sort of breaking up the community as efficiently as possible. So please share your thoughts. We look forward to hearing them. Okay, so speaking of community and sharing thoughts and people, at 12:20 we have a networking session in this room, and a lot of the leaders of FINOS will be in the room available to talk to you. So please come join us, get to know each other. That'll be a short period, but we'll have a little bit of time, and then that will be followed by our D&I SIG talking about the progress that they have made and the difference that FINOS is making. And with that, I will hand it back over to Gab, who is going to give us more updates on all of the interesting and impactful work going on. Thank you.